Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing some art with this box of 100 Crayola crayons, and I think this was released in 2016 as part of their 100-year celebrations, and it was $9.99 from one of my local bookstores. And when I opened the box, the strong smell of wax crayon was quite apparent and it really hit me in the face. It was like being slapped in the face with nostalgia. And as you can see, all the crayons are in the box apart from the 4 metallic crayons which were under the lid, and these look really fun and really cool, but I don't think I'll use them in this particular video, maybe in another video. And as I turn the box over, you can see the packaging on the back is really quite nice. There's a rainbow order of crayons, unlike the rainbow order which is inside the box. They're just a bit higgledy-piggledy. And there's some fun facts about Crayola which I might read later on, so look out for that. And there's also a sharpener as well, which you can sharpen your crayons with if you peel back the paper, and this means you don't ruin your metal sharpener. So let's get on with it. So before I jump into talking about the artwork of this video, I thought it would be a good idea to mention the introduction. I've been wanting to do this for a long time and I finally got round to having a go at making one, and this little introduction matches the banner of my channel now. You might have noticed that changed about a week or so ago, and the banners on my social media. I thought it would be nice to have something quite coherent and something a little unique to me. And I would also like to thank my friend Peter Faulkner for making the music for this video. He's really cool, so I will leave his website in the description below, so make sure you go and check that out. Okay, so now back to the artwork. I thought it would be a good idea to try and push myself a little bit with this drawing and do like a full A4 colouring in the crayons. So I sketched out the idea first. I didn't film that, but I used my mechanical pencil and just a standard piece of card, A4 card from a standard pack from a craft shop. And yeah, this took quite a while to sketch it out, but I spent quite a lot of time working on an accurate sketch. And I decided to do a red panda because I love red pandas and I think they are adorable, and they have really beautiful colours on them, a really nice kind of orangey reddy fur, and there was quite a lot of orange and reds and browns in this pack, so I thought that would be a good use of them. And yeah, red pandas are one of my favourite animals. I don't know if you've seen the GIF on the internet where there's this little red panda kind of jumping really high trying to reach the doorknob, but he can't quite do it, and it just looks really cute and adorable. So if you search red panda dog gif on Google, it will come up and you will not be sorry because it is one of the best gifs on the internet. Anyway, back to the art. I decided to try and layer up as best as I could, although I found out quite quickly that you can't really layer up too well with these wax crayons because they just build up lots of wax and the colours just mud together. So I tried to press lightly at first and then kind of build my way up. So I started with the lighter colours going to dark, and I used quite a lot of blue in this to shade. I didn't use black. You know that I don't use black. I am thinking about doing a video about why I don't use black, why I personally don't use black to shade, and why I use blue and brown, but I did almost give up on this in this video because I thought it would be just so much easier to use black, especially on the belly of the red panda because they have really dark fur under there. But I didn't. I used the blue, and you can see some of the blue tones coming through, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because it shines a bit blue in the light anyway. But yeah, this was quite difficult to get those tones, but yeah, it took quite a while, but I just carried on layering up, and I went a little bit too heavy on his face at first. I decided that I wanted to get some of the texture back in because there are some highlights, but I didn't want to use white gel pen because that wouldn't probably work on the wax anyway. So I decided later on to use a paper clip. I unbent it and kind of used the metal to scratch away at the wax, and that was quite effective on his face, but I went a little bit too far on the ear and it did pull up some of the paper. You can't really tell, but I can tell, so that was a bit annoying, but it also worked quite well and I was quite pleased with the textures that I achieved here. So now you can see that I'm colouring in the greenery, I'm colouring in the branch in his mouth and all the leaves around him. I used, I think, about 3 to 5 different crayons for this, starting with the lighter one and building up, and they had a lot of really vibrant greens in this set, so it was really quite fun to colour in these leaves. But I did try and dole them out with the duller green to make them look a little bit more realistic, because I was going for a bit of a semi-realistic look as much as I could do with these crayons. But yeah, these crayons do have quite a lot of vibrant colours in them. That's the great thing about the Crayola brand, is that they are affordable and cheap kids art supplies, but they're not so cheap that there is hardly any pigment at all. Like in the Kinder Egg surprise toys that I did a while ago, there was hardly any pigment in those. But yeah, I really enjoyed working with these crayons, but there was some drawbacks, and that's why it's challenging, I guess, because they would molt the wax, if that's the right word, so there'd be lots of little specks of wax along the card, and it was quite hard to get rid of these, and I didn't get rid of them all in the end. So when you see the close-up at the end of the video, you will see that there are still some speckles, and it's obviously quite shiny. You can't layer too much, but you can scratch away like I have done. But yeah, overall I did really enjoy this, and let me know if you've ever tried colouring in with wax crayons, if you've ever done some wax crayon art and how you found it, and whether you tried different brands to this, because I do love reading your comments. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Katie. I make art videos. I upload a new video every Thursday and the occasional bonus video on a Sunday. So do feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. And let me know in the comments below whether you've tried using crayons to make art yourself. It doesn't have to be Crayola crayons, can be any brand. Let me know whether you like them or whether you found them quite difficult. Also let me know if you think I did a good job or not, and whether you like red pandas as much as I do. So for the background, I decided to do a blue sky because this would contrast with the oranges and the greens a little bit more, and this would help make him pop a little bit. And yeah, I think it worked out, but then on another level I don't think it did. I think I could have been a little bit more creative with the sky, but never mind, it's done now. And also for the whiskers, I tried to scrape off the wax like I did earlier with his head, but it didn't quite work because there was too much wax there, so I did end up getting a little bit of white acrylic just to add on the whiskers. So like I promised in the introduction, I'm now going to read out some of the facts on the back of this crayon packet, so let's all get ready to do some learning about Crayola. So in 1916, Binney and Smith opened stores to Crayola UK in Bedford, and in 1919 it launched its first box of 8 crayons. In 1922, watercolour paints were introduced, and in 1959, 72 crayon gift boxes were introduced. In 1978, the first 8-colour marker box, and in 1984, Crayola joined Hallmark, and in 1987, washable markers were introduced, those fun washable Crayola markers that we all remember as kids. And in 1996, the 100 billionth crayon was created. Wow, that's a lot of crayons. 100 billion crayons by 1996. And that was 20 years ago. Now I feel old. And in 1999, my first Crayola was created. I assume that's the very little kids pack. And in 2002, Colour Wonder and Twister balls were introduced. And in 2014, Marker Maker was launched. Wow, that sounds fun. I want to try that. Marker Maker, make your own markers. And in 2016, it was the 100th anniversary. So there you go. Now we know all there is to know about Crayola. Well, probably not all there is to know, but we did some learning. Probably should mention that I am not sponsored by Crayola, hashtag not sponsored, and I just thought it would be a fun video to make. I had a gift voucher from one of my local bookstores and I saw these crayons, and because I'm a big kid at heart, I thought this would be a fun video to make. But let me know if you do want me to try out some other Crayola stuff. I quite like the sound of that marker maker, making your own markers. I might have a look and see if I can find that, and I might do it for a subscriber milestone video or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sponsored by Crayola. So here you can see me trying to scrape away at the wax crayon to make the whiskers show through, but like I said earlier, there was too many layers by this point, so that didn't really work, so I decided to colour over the top of them again with the crayon and then use some white acrylic to add the finishing touches to make the whiskers. And I think this worked quite well in the end because the acrylic did overlay onto the wax. Not many things do go over the top of wax because it's water resistant, and yeah, I think this turned out quite well. Just one more thing to say before I end this video is that I'm sorry if this has been a little bit shaky. I did try really hard to be conscious of the shaking of the table, and it was quite difficult with the crayons because they naturally do shake the table as I colour with them. It's because the table I have isn't very heavy at the moment, but I am going to try and sort that out in future videos. So here is the final result, and I am quite pleased with how this turned out, although you can see some specks of wax and it's quite shiny because of the build-up of wax, but I still like it. I think it turned out okay. And if you like this video, you know, emotionally, please leave it a like down below as that really helps me out. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye for now.